Guys, this is the coolest house I've ever been in. I got plenty of photos. I got some video of it. You're gonna love it. Let's check it out. Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? Coming to you from the road in western Pennsylvania this week. So we are on our way to check out Fallingwater. If you don't know what that is, that's probably my favorite house in the United States. So I think you guys probably know when I went to college, I went to Arizona State, and out there, it's kind of like a shrine to Frank Lloyd Wright. He designed a bunch of the buildings on campus. He had a house out there. There's a main road named after him. So, you know, we kind of had Frank Lloyd Wright shoved down our throats when we were out at ASU. But it doesn't change the fact that the guy is probably my favorite American architect. The guy just created some incredible buildings. So Fallingwater is this mid-century modern, just masterpiece of a house. It's built over a waterfall in Pennsylvania. It's just incredible. Never been there before, so this is our first time. So I'm always on the lookout for, you know, being in real estate, for anything that's just like kind of a cool, different style architecture. This house has it in spades. So, you know, I like mid-century modern architecture. I like Frank Lloyd Wright. I like nature. This house has it all. So I'm excited to share that with you. Can't wait to check it out. We'll be there shortly and see what it's up. So we decided to go to Pittsburgh this year for the kids' spring break. So I took the opportunity, since Fallingwater is kind of in the middle of nowhere, to take the trip. Brought my two big kids with me, and so this is, you know, late March in western Pennsylvania. So obviously a little bit, you know, no leaves on the trees yet. It's a little bit barren looking, but you can kind of see as we come over this hill, you know, it's kind of, you know, rugged countryside. It's a pretty scenic area, actually, where Fallingwater is located. It's about 70 miles southwest of Pittsburgh. So it took about an hour and a half to get there from Pittsburgh. It's mostly on, you know, just little 2-lane roads. It's a nice drive. You go through a couple little, you know, coal country towns, things like that. So, you know, here we are on the little last leg of our trip here, driving into Fallingwater. There's absolutely nothing around that house. It was built as a kind of a summer getaway for a family that owned a large department store in Pittsburgh. Built in the 1930s. So, you know, it's, you know, back in the day, it probably took just as long to get there from Pittsburgh back in the 30s as it does now. I mean, it's still just 2-lane roads, but it's not too far away, but it's pretty secluded. There's a town called Mill Run that is about 5 miles from the house, and calling it a town is pretty generous. I mean, there's a few houses here and there. A couple, I think there was like a general store. I mean, it was pretty small. This area right here is probably about 15 miles away from Fallingwater, and this is kind of the extent of what we were dealing with. And once we get in there, you know, this is the entrance to Fallingwater. It's now, you know, it's owned by a nature conservancy, and it was originally the conservancy that was just there to kind of protect the creek that runs through the house. And you know, over the years that it was actually donated, the house itself was donated to the conservancy, and with the son of the original owners in tandem, he gave it to them to preserve. They didn't have the first clue about preserving a house, so that's why he worked with them. He actually had interned with Frank Lloyd Wright over the years. So these are the grounds of the house itself, and it's a pretty sprawling area. I think they said they have 155 acres now. It's a pretty large area. So it's a little bit of a hike from the visitor center itself to get to the house. I mean, not that long, probably like a 5-minute walk. It's not anything crazy. But once you get to the house itself, it's so impressive. I mean, the first thing that you do on the tour is go over this bridge where the where the creek runs, and there's just a whole cascade of waterfalls like above the house and through the house and down past the house. So this is above the house itself. That's the bridge that we were standing on, and you can see they actually built a staircase and a platform down to the creek itself, which you'll see a little bit in a little bit as we go inside the house itself. But I mean, it's just, they got a little pool there. I mean, just every detail was thought out just to complement the natural scenery, which is kind of a trademark of Frank Lloyd Wright. He liked to enhance the living rock, and instead of trying to like impose his man-made will on it, if you will. But it's just a cool area. I mean, you can see water just seeping down through the rocks. One of his trademarks was he didn't like a grand entrance. So this little door is the front door to the house itself. And there's, from inside the living room, that staircase that goes down to the creek itself. That's one of the balconies that overlooks the creek from the living room. And I mean, just the area is just gorgeous. I mean, it just really is. And again, that's from the balcony, and I always wondered what this part was right here. I thought it was like some kind of a lattice or ladder or something like that. It's actually windows that open up from the master bedroom and the guest room, and you can open up the windows on each side. It feels like you're standing outside, even though you're inside the house. It's really awesome. And again, there's just like kind of a view of other people on the tour of the home itself, and water kind of, again, trickling down the rocks. There's actually a portion of the house. Now, they don't let you take video throughout the whole thing. In some areas, some rooms you can't even take still photos. But there's actually a room inside the main house there where there's a natural spring, and it's like causing like a natural pool inside the house. It was probably more impressive inside than I was expecting. They, as you'll see in a little bit here, they actually used, in the living room, they just used some of the existing rock that the house was built on to go up to the fireplace. It's just, I've never seen anything like it. It was just quite amazing to be inside of that property. And I've, been a fan of Frank Lloyd Wright, like I said, for years and years and years, and I've been in several of his buildings. But this has, been on my bucket list for a long time. I've always been super impressed with this house itself. So, that's our tour. Hope you guys like the view of it as much as I do, and can't recommend it enough. I'll put a link to the website itself down in the comments, but absolutely recommend if you ever get a chance. I mean, it's it's a destination. You have to be wanting to go there because it's not around anything else. But I highly recommend checking it out. Hope this helps, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week with some pertinent real estate information about the Metro Detroit market. Until then, have a great one.